What's up, everyone? Welcome to this edition of Let's Talk Houston Rockets post-game show. I am, of course, KG Kris Gardner of the Houston Roundball Review. Game 5, final score, Rockets 131, Warriors 116. Rockets led by as much as 31 points. Warriors still lead the series 3-2. Game 6 will be Friday in San Francisco. Let me hear your comments. Let me see your comments, hear your comments. At some point, I will have it where the show can take calls and things of that sort. That is in the future. But for now, let me see and read your comments on this edition of Let's Talk Houston Rockets. What are your thoughts? Man, oh man, it's amazing how an offense looks effective when people don't stand still and actually move with a purpose and cut without the ball and have backdoor cuts and actual movement. Shocking. Oh, I'm who knew? Who knew? But first person up, some guy named Andre. How are you doing? Starting a GoFundMe to pay the refs off for game 6 in the Bay. Rockets by 8. Edward says Rockets gotta force a game 7 now. Why do you say that? Why do you say they got to? I think they're going to. Jamon, good win. James, how are you doing? Appreciate you as always. What kind of chances do I give? Good, solid chances. But let me get the bad out of the way first. The Rockets reserves, and I put it on Blue Sky. The deep reserves. Reed Shepard, that group, crapped the bed in the fourth quarter. First 4 minutes of the fourth quarter, it was so piss poor. They were outscored by the Warriors' deep reserves, 12-2. And Ime was so frustrated and pissed off with that trash that his reserves displayed that he had to put the starters back in the game. That just cannot happen. It should not happen. It cannot happen. You want to play, you want these minutes, and then you do that trash in the fourth quarter, first 4 minutes. And then the Warriors' deep reserves got physical, pushing, shoving against the starters. They got chippier, double text after Trace Jackson Davis and Şengün after Pat Spencer. Pat Spencer must be going to the Draymond Green school of physicality. Read between the lines there. But if the reserves would have just done their damn job, this would not have got down to, what was it, 11, 13? Went from 31 to 11? It wasted a great performance by their teammates with that just no-show in the fourth quarter. I mean, Steve Kerr waved the white flag. It was a 27-point lead going into the fourth quarter. In 4 minutes, it got down to 17. And got as close as worse, got it within 13. And then they missed 3 offensive rebounds, 3 offensive putbacks, and then the skirmish and all that stuff. But from 27 to 13 in roughly 7 minutes. Sad. Cyrano, how are you doing? It's a great start for the Rockets. First quarter, they were rolling. They made free throws, 13 for 13, the first 13 free throws. It was just what you guys like to see. But, you know, J-Mon put it, yeah, that's a good way to put it. The third stringers, Warriors third stringers came in, and the Rockets third stringers stunk. Just flat out stunk. Joe P, how you doing? What's up to you? The bench mob was terrible. They were terrible. Or as Charles Barkley says, terrible. Just terrible. J-Mon, I do remember you saying Warriors in 6. Yep. Paquito, how are you doing? Thank you for chiming in from across way over the other side of the world. Let's win at Golden State and get game 7. Still believes Rockets in 7. James going a little interesting take. If Kerr wasn't so arrogant, thinking they'll beat us anyway at home in 6, he probably could have put his starters back in 1 after he got to 13. Warriors fans are different. I mean, fans are fans. Let them think that, they cut it to, what was it, 17 against the Rockets' third string. But family, and you are family. Let's talk. Houston Rockets is a family. Did y'all notice who did not play until the last 2 minutes of the game? And I'm not referring to Uncle Jeff. A certain young man who is a fan favorite here on these postgame shows did not get into the game until 2 minutes left in the ballgame. Just saying. I hope y'all saw that. I said it. He will not play in games in this series unless it's a blowout. I heard some stuff before the game today, but just confirmed his ass ain't going to be playing in this series. But let's get to the good news. Some good numbers. And these stats are overall stats for the most part because the guys had to come back in the fourth quarter to clean up the trash that their teammates left for them. Fred VanVleet. Fred's got it going. Looks like 26 points, 8 for 13 overall, 4 for 6 from 3. Made all 6 of his free throws. Amen Thompson did 3 points better than his brother did last night with 25 points tonight, 8 for 12, 8 for 9 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 steals, 3 turnovers. Dillon Brooks did not get in foul trouble and scored some points. Who knew? 24 points, 7 for 13. Did not shoot the 3-ball well, but he made his free throws, 8 for 8. 1 turnover. Alperen Sengun was a facilitator. Damn, who suggested that here on this show? I'm baffled. Who suggested that? Who said have him at the high post and pass? 15 points, 9 boards, 9 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 1 turnover. Jalen Green had a better start. I mean, couldn't do much worse than he did in game 4. But the important thing, 0 turnovers, 11 points. He banged knees, I think, with Steph, and that bothered him so much he had to go back to the locker room to get his knee treated. But he was aggressive, and he moved without the basketball. He gave it up to Alp high post. Jalen made some cuts. Oh, this amazing. It's amazing what simple basketball can do for you. Who knew? Who knew? Who knew? Kuminga did not play. Let me make sure of that. Let me be sure. The Warriors version of Cam Whitmore did not play. The box score says he did not even dress. He's under the weather. So there you go there. But Cam Whitmore came in the last 143 of the game along with Nate Williams and Jeff Green. And Cam, in his 143, no shot attempts, no rebounds, no assists, no fouls, no steals, no turnovers, no block shots. I'm not sure what to make of that. I don't know. Is he trying to say something? I don't know. I don't know. But he's young and immature. Yep. And I'm not going to go into specifics, but I heard before the game he did some more young and immature things. So, yeah. But, like I said, the box score for Jonathan Kuminga says illness, doesn't say injury. Like for Jayshawn Tate, it mentions an injury. Ankle, right ankle with Jayshawn. With Kuminga, it says illness. Whatever, he didn't play. Regardless, he didn't play. So that's the Warriors' issue, not the Rockets. Irvin Taylor, how are you doing? But yeah, I looked for him on the bench, and at one point, Cam came back. He had one of those handheld massaging devices, and was using that on his thighs and his legs and stuff. So maybe that's part of it. Whatever. He wasn't in the game to start the fourth quarter, and he might have done better. He wouldn't have. He probably would have jacked up some shots. Maybe would have helped stem the tide of that this awful performance by the third string to start the fourth quarter. Who knows? But that's on him. If he's injured, if he didn't stretch enough, if he wasn't limber enough, flexible enough, man, that's on him. But we're spending too much time talking about a guy who's not in the rotation, who may not be here next season. All that. Talk about Fred, Dylan, Amin Thompson, Alp, the facilitator. Talk about those guys who got it done, took it to the Warriors tonight to force a game 6. So did you guys like what you saw from them? Rockets 40-24 at the end of the first quarter. And then kept doing it, kept that foot on the gas. Outscored the Warriors 36-25 in the second quarter. Rockets led 76-49 at halftime. Rockets in the second quarter, 14 for 19 from the floor. Overall, 4 for 6 from 3. And they finally missed some free throws in the second quarter, going just 4 for 7. And 2 of those 3 misses were Jalen Green. Go figure. But at halftime, Fred had 19 points in the first half. Alpe and Dylan each had 12. Amin had 11. Rockets as a team shot 69% overall from the floor. 25 for 36 in the first half. 17 for 20 from the free throw line. 16 assists in the first half. Great ball movement. Great moving, passing, not looking at each other, just pound the air out of the basketball. Who knew? Who knew that moving off the ball is a good thing? Stunning. And once Pat Spencer got ejected for his headbutt, while he's walking off the floor toward the tunnel, toward the Warriors locker room, fans are booing him. He's egging them on. I'll tell you, Pat Spencer must be a recent graduate of the Draymond Green School. All right. You okay? Y'all say so. You think so. Whatever. Back to the stats, the individual numbers. Jabari, 7 points. Did not shoot the 3 well. But, we're nitpicking with the key reserves and key players with the Rockets. They set a tone. They played fast. They played with a purpose. They were aggressive on defense. In Steph's limited minutes, just 4 for 12 overall, 3 for 9 from 3. 3 turnovers. He did have 7 assists. Rockets is a stat. In the paint, it ended up even up, but it was advantage Rockets after 3, 46-36. Let me see what it was at halftime. At halftime, Rockets had a 28-12 advantage in the paint in the first half. 28-12. And 11-2 fast break points in the first half. Led by as much as 30 in the first half. They took it to the Warriors. And this is a telling stat for the Rockets as a positive. 27 of 38 in the paint. That's way, way better than 19 for 46 in the paint in game 3. And 23 of 48 in game 4. Let me see if I can find that. 24 of 49 in game 4. So they finally made more than 50% of their shots in the paint. That's a positive. That's a good sign. There are things they did tonight, especially in the first half, that they can carry over to game 6. And it really seems like Ime Udoka has fallen in love with the Rockets' zone defense. Played a lot of it. At times, for me, I was like, Ime, get out of the zone, man. He gave her too many open threes, but he stuck with it for a lot. Irvin Taylor says about Amen Thompson, he's the future for sure. He does that for game 6, and there will be a game 7. It's the Warriors, no names that's killing us, so our name need to show up. Let's see what Golden State's Brandon Podziemski did tonight. He only had 8 points. Steph was the only Warriors starter to score in double figures. He had 13. Podziemski had 8. Jimmy Butler had 8. Draymond Green had 7. And Buddy Hield had 4. Warriors starting 5 combined to go 14 for 39 from the floor. If my quick math is right. 14 for 39 from the floor. And that includes 6 for, what is that? 5, 7, 11, 18 from 3. 6 for 18 from 3. Again, I saw some things that worked. Rockets can do this again on Friday. We'll see. They got to do it. I like the participants in the discussion currently, but where's everybody else? Where are the folks who come on and much more active after a Rockets loss? I mean, it's a little earlier start to the show right now because it wasn't a late start. It wasn't a West Coast start, West Coast tip time. But the numbers have been great. Were great for those 2 games after game 3 and game 4. Later starts. But WK, thank you very much for chiming in. GRX, thank you as well. Here's a new name. I have not seen this name before. And I do not want to insult you by mispronouncing that name, but so thank you very much for joining the conversation, and join us again Friday. Do not be a stranger. Come again and tell your friends about the Let's Talk Houston Rockets post-game shows, because they are unique. This show is unlike any other. Very simple, because I'm part of it. And you guys are as well. You guys might be on other post-game shows for discussion about your Rockets. That's fine. But that's why I appreciate all of you for participating in the discussion on this show, because this show is nothing without you guys. So thank you very much for that. Jalen moving out the ball. I mean, there were some give and goes between Jalen and Alperen Sengun. Who knew? I mean, it's like a light went on in their brains. If I pass the ball to Alpy, I don't have to stand still. I can actually cut to the hoop. Oh, yes, Jalen, you can. Yes. If I pass it quickly, the Warriors don't trap me and double team me, and I can move it off the ball and I can get it back. Yes, you can. Oh. But, Draymond and I guess his underling, Pat Spencer, are people to watch for game 6. Draymond be Draymond. I guess he didn't shut down Alpy tonight. I'm going to say this, and I hope the Warriors fans, the trolls, some of them are trolls, some of them are legit basketball fans, knowledgeable. Draymond Green didn't shut down Alperen Sengun in game 4. I mean, Draymond Green, he's in his own mind. He is in his own world. Man, whatever, dude. But the thing is, the media keeps perpetuating that. Come on, man. Whatever. Call it what it is. He has very little left except trash talk and cheap shots. Come on. Alan Rivas, thank you very much. Warriors starters looked like they were bored and disinterested. That's not the Rockets' problem. Not the Rockets' fault. I think all of us expect the Warriors starters to play more focused, locked in for game 6. Play like they give a damn. Okay, good. And the Rockets have to do the same. They have to be locked in and focused and be aggressive. The Rockets, game 5, really took it to the Warriors in that first quarter, were much more aggressive, much more active on offense and defense, and finally shot the ball well, which obviously helps. But I say this, and I've said it before, when you move without the ball and move with a purpose, you you give yourself a chance to get easier baskets for yourself. So your half court offense is not a slog. It's not stuck in the muck. And you don't have to make it so painful. You move without the ball, you can get some easy layups. You can do some give and goes. You can get some backdoor cuts. You can get some alley-oops. It's basketball is so much simpler when you move without the ball and move like you know what the hell you're doing. Rob, you said this. I agree with this kind of as well. Solo, I'll see a comment. I'm going to post it in just a second. Warriors look like a bunch of 37-year-olds playing 2 games in 3 nights. The longer this series goes, the Rockets have the youth. They have the athletes. They have to just play up to their pace, their tempo. And I say this, and it goes with really any player in the NBA. Teams will scout you and leave you open at the 3-point line. This even applies to Draymond Green too. But specifically for Amen Thompson. Just because a team leaves you open at the 3-point line does not mean you have to take that 3-point shot. Once you get the ball, you can attack and get into the paint. And then based on who you are, your handles, you can finish strong at the rim, make the defense collapse on you, then kick it out to a teammate. You don't have to settle for a 3-point shot. That's what the defense wants you to do, is take a standstill 3. You don't have to. I think Asar Thompson last night against the Knicks, he had, 7 or 8 dunks by moving and getting open. You don't have to stand in a corner. So salute to a man for doing that same thing tonight. You don't have to stand still in the corner and wait for the ball. They'll leave you open. You don't have to shoot that 3. Get your ass in the paint. If the Rockets win game 6, will they win the series? I said Rockets in 7. Tonight was a must win. We all said this was a must win. It goes without saying, game 4 was a must win. They didn't get it done. They bounced back with a much better performance. They made their free throws in the first half, first quarter. I mean, yeah, Rockets win game 6. They're going to win game 7. If they play their tempo, they play their style of game. I did not like, but I did like one play. What was it? First half, Amen Thompson scored on Gary Payton II and screamed in GP2's face and flexed on him, and Dylan Brooks shoved him in away. What was that, Amen? What the hell? That's not necessary. You scored a putback. Hooray. Good for you. You gonna flex on a dude for scoring a putback? What the hell, man? Come on. And then shockingly, Dylan Brooks was the peacemaker. Who knew? Wow, look at him. He did make a 3. He only took 1. That's it. I'm good taking 1 or 2. That's it. I think part of this was as well Thought a man played passively when Emi brought him back with starters back in the fourth. Yeah, they probably were ready to focus on Game 6 while we were in the game. why are we back on the floor? Why are we doing this? I want to see more of this play for Jabari. Getting more looks in the mid post, especially when he's at the three, because Warriors go small, Rockets go big. They have no one to match up with Jabari. Height, no one. CA37, how are you doing? Thank you. Picking OKC in Boston in the finals. But Reggie Miller shows his bias toward Draymond, showed it in Game 4. I didn't watch national feed for Game 4. I watched Craig and Ryan local feed, so I missed it. But Şengün and Jabari are mismatch problems for the Warriors. And I think the Rockets need to go to Jabari more. Derek, how are you doing? Always appreciate you joining the show because you bring up the Detroit and the Pistons, and I don't do it all the time. You bring them up, so I appreciate that. I did bring them up a little bit earlier, moments ago, about Ausar Thompson and Amen one up against his brother tonight in the Rockets 131-116 win over the Warriors to force a Game 6. And let's see if the Lakers lose tonight, there won't be a Game 6 in Minnesota on Friday. So that would mean Rockets Warriors probably start 9 or 8:30 on Friday. If there is a Game 6 between Minnesota and the Lakers, then Rockets Warriors probably start at 9 or 9:30, with Minnesota and Lakers probably playing at 6:30 or 7. But we shall see how that all plays out. But we are here to talk about the Rockets' excellent first half, solid for much of the third quarter, and then a crappy first 4 minutes of the third quarter by the third string Rockets that Ime Udoka had to put in his starters again, which I'm sure pissed him off. I mean, hell, it pissed me off, and I'm not a coach or involved with the Rockets organization at all. So, but your thoughts? Jalen Green hurt his knee or banged his knee, I think, against Steph in the first half. He didn't. He went back to the locker room to get some treatment on it. He returned to the game. So hopefully his injury is not too serious. I mean, it wasn't too serious because he came back in the game. He's part of the unit that finished the game unnecessarily. But can you tell how kind of perturbed I am? But the Rockets bench players, that was just awful, just crap performance, man, just pure crap. And thankfully, the Rocket starters did not get injured by any of the antics from the Warriors bench mob, because it looked like they were trying a few times. They were trying to throw some stuff, be physical. Hell, Pat Spencer missed a headbutt. But not this year, WK. No, not this year. He was a finalist, a top 3 finalist for the award. He is not a top 3 defensive player this year. No. Yeah, one of them plays for the Rockets. He's better than Draymond Green. Dyson Daniels, Evan Mobley, I'm good with both of them. Draymond Green, not in the same class as Dyson, Evan Mobley, Amen Thompson. No. Nope. Tari does some Tari things. I mean, good and bad. He does some Tari things. And yes, it's funny, ironic when the Warriors fans, and it's weird how Warriors fans call the Rockets dirty, but Draymond Green does the same stuff, if not more. And they're like, oh, well, it's Draymond. Whatever. Whatever. Space Age says Kerr places bench way more than Udoka, which instills confidence. But you all kind of answer your own statement with the conclusion. Udoka doesn't have that same trust. Well, I mean, it's chicken or the egg. If those guys would perform in practice, maybe they get some more run in games. And yes, they did not play a lot, in this series, the first 4 games. But when they had a chance to perform today, fourth quarter in game 5, they were trash, offensively and defensively. So it's kind of, which is it? If any of them happen to go to coach and say, Coach, I want some more minutes, and then he may put you in the game in that fourth quarter, and you play like garbage. Well, you can't say, Coach, I want some more minutes. You can, but Emi's not going to say. Emi's going to say, well, I gave you some time, and you didn't do anything with it. Nadine, it's a new name, or maybe I've seen your name, haven't seen it in a while. Thank you, Nadine, for joining the conversation. Well, I mean, Pat Spencer. If Pat Spencer plays, he's going to get ejected. I mean, Draymond Green won't get ejected. He didn't get ejected in game 4 with everything he did then, so he won't get ejected in game 6. Something really egregious would have to happen in game 6 for a starter to get ejected for either side. Hopefully that won't happen. Hopefully it's just a nice physical game. Refs do their job, call it tight enough, but not too many whistles. Don't get too whistle happy, and allow the players to determine the game. Cyrano he said it much better than I did minutes ago. We would all like Ime to go deeper into his bench, but we see why the bench cannot be trusted. Now, if Jayshawn Tate were healthy and not battling an ankle injury, he would have been on the floor those first 4 minutes of the fourth quarter. And his presence probably would have helped mitigate what we saw. But he's injured. So Ime went with what he has. And you saw the results. But Aaron Holiday, when Jalen Green went out with the banged knee, sore knee, injured knee, he came into the game. Aaron finished the game. He played 16 minutes, 9 points, 3 for 6 from the floor, 1 for 3 from 3, 2 for 4 from the free throw line. So Rockets missed 6 free throws as a team. Jalen missed 2, Aaron missed 2, Amen missed 1, and Alpi missed 1. So Jalen Green 3 for 5, and Aaron Holiday 2 for 4. Rockets 32 for 38 at the free throw line tonight. So, Rockets 13 for 13 at the line in the first quarter, won the first quarter 40-24. Again, let me go with the numbers for the first quarter because they set the tone. They got it done. Dylan Brooks, 9 points first quarter. 2 for 3 from the floor. 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Dylan Brooks had 4 free throw attempts in the first quarter. Dylan goes games without getting 4 free throws. He had 4 attempts in the first quarter. Fred, 14 points in the first quarter. He had 3 free throws in the first quarter and made all 3. Amen, 3 for 3 from the free throw line. Alpi, 2 for 2. So DB and Fred combined go 7 for 7. There have been games that the two of them don't go to the free throw line combined for 7 free throws. They got it done in the first quarter, so they were aggressive. they played the first quarter like I think many of you would like to see them play, with the ball in Şengün's hands at the post, at the high post. He had 4 assists in the first quarter. Ball movement, player movement. Alpern was 1 rebound and 1 assist away from a triple-double. So it's just we can say it. I mean, it's what post games, part of what post games are. If, but they didn't. Rockets did not make their free throws in game 4. Didn't do it in game 3. Yeah, the Rockets could be up in this series 3-2, but they're not. So they have to take the good from game 5, carry it over to game 6, and expect the Warriors starting 5 to play better, to play more focused, to be more aggressive in front of their home fans. It is Bronson. That's a new name. Thank you, Bronson. Welcome. Thank you for chiming in. Appreciate you as well. So salute to the new names who are joining the discussion. Also salute to those who told you about the show or how you found out about the show. Both. Thank you very much to you and them for discovering the Let's Talk Houston Rockets post-game shows. Bernard says no one is getting ejected. I agree. It'd have to be something just way off the pale for somebody to get tossed in game 6. So we shall see how it goes. Looking forward to it. Let's see. Update. I think it's still at halftime. Yeah, still halftime. Minnesota 59, Lakers 49. Rockets, let's see. Minnesota wins that game. That series will be over. And Rockets Warriors game 6 on Friday might start. I don't know yet because it kind of depends on the Minnesota Lakers game tonight. If the Rockets Warriors are the only game on Friday, it may start at 8:30 Central Time, 6:30 Pacific. We'll know in roughly an hour. So, there'll be some more skirmishes. Game 6. I don't see anybody getting tossed. Yep. But so it's just it is an issue, but no one's going to get tossed. And I do agree with Bernard here. That's why there were times the Warriors figured out the Rocket zone. Had a lot of open threes. Too many open threes for my taste. And dismissed them. So that's why I was like, Ime, come on, man. Go back to the man. I mean, guard these dudes straight up. Have your help defense ready because too many open threes. Warriors as a team, 15 for 44 from 3. First quarter, I mean, the Warriors, their 3-point game was their offense. They made 6 threes in the first quarter, 6 for 16 from 3 in the first quarter, just 3 for 6 on 2s in the first quarter. And the Warriors are, an example as well. Ime wants the Warriors not named Steph, to shoot threes. He wants them. He's leaving some of them open for a reason. But I think as Bernard would say, just because you are left open for a 3-pointer does not mean you have to take that 3-pointer. So when there are guys in the first quarter, especially, second quarter, Guy Santos 0 for 2 from 3. Moses Moody 0 for 2 from 3. I'm like, well, y'all can go and take those 3 if you want to. That's all you're going to do, But you don't have to take those shots. So it's just teams, pride, ego involved, some of that, where players are left open and they feel insulted, like Russ. Russ, at times, give him credit. He's made more of his threes, especially corner threes this season in the playoffs. Give him credit for that too. But there were times, when Russ was a Rocket, whoever Russ was with, whatever team, where people, opponents, everybody was glad Russ tossed up a three because chances are it's going to be a brick. So Russ, he felt insulted. And how dare you leave me open? And I'm going to shoot this three. Brick. Go ahead, Russ. Keep on jacking them up. Keep on. But it's I'm looking forward to it. We'll see how the guys step up for everybody. How the youngsters step up. Who makes threes? Who doesn't make threes? Will Pods make his threes in game 6? Will the amount of games compressed begin to affect the older legs of the Warriors, specifically Jimmy Butler, who's still injured? He's injured. Steph is in such great shape, but I mean, Steph, he's 37. He's not gonna. It's gonna take a toll on him too. So will that be an issue? I'm kind of curious at what time, if the Rockets win game 6, what time game 7 would start on Sunday. Because if it's an afternoon start, that'll be less time for the Warriors' older legs to recover. So it's, Rockets got to do their part. They got to get it done. And then game 7, back in H-Town, the bright lights, who will shine brightest in a game 7? It's just, who it is. I'm looking forward to it. Rockets played faster, played with more purpose in the first half tonight of game 6 specifically. See if they continue it. They found a few things that worked for them. We'll see how they do in game 6. They can't. I agree with this from Solo. These Rockets, they don't roll over. They quit. So they don't. So they're not the Heat or this year's Heat. But the competition is what I'm looking forward to. The trash talk back and forth between the fans, for the most part, just keep it respectful. That's all. Post-game shows are for the fans, the interactions for the fans. This show, I think I've got a few Warriors fans participating in the discussion, and for the most part, they're cool people. They're fans of a dynasty. David, your new name. I haven't seen your name before. Glad you're here. Come again on Friday. Friday's gonna be a late one. Be another KG After Dark edition, and we'll go from there. I got my beverage, Derek. I got my beverage. No worries. My beverage in my Houston Roundball review mug, one of many. So there are links in the video, below the video, where you can support the Roundball review with a mug like this one, or a mug like for the Rockets. Different logo, so I don't get in trouble with copyrights. But there are different ways to support the Roundball review with your official Houston Roundball review merch. So it's just game 6. I'm glad the Rockets played better in game 5. I'm glad they did not lose at home in game 5. So we'll see what happens in game 6. And it's going to be a late start, like I said. West Coast, for y'all on the left coast, not gonna be late for y'all. It's gonna be late for us in the Central Time Zone. And Paquito, if you're still here in the discussion, remind me what time it is in Korea, because you and Terry's like, what is it in New Zealand? 18-hour difference. Is that right? 18 hours. Wow, this blows me away. But I said before the series, Rockets in 7, when they got down 3-1, I had no other option. The only way the Rockets could win would be Rockets in 7, so I got to stick with it. I'm not going to change and waffle, go back and forth, whatever. They got to make their free throws. Hopefully, being on the road for Game 6, they won't go into the crapper at the free throw line. But, we'll see. Jimmy Butler, like I said, he's still injured. He did not get fouled a lot tonight. He didn't go to the line. What was it? Overall, Jimmy Butler was 4 for 5 from the free throw line overall, 2 for 10 from the floor. So will the quick turnaround impact him and his bruised tailbone, his pelvic bone on Friday? We shall see. Dillon Brooks did not foul him on a 3-point line tonight. It was good. Fred VanVleet shot the ball well last 2 games. Let's see if he can do it in Game 6. Time will tell. Jalen Green was more aggressive before he hurt his knee. Maybe he figured a few things out. But the Rockets starting unit, the Rockets starting 5, all 5 scored in double figures. Amir, that's a new name. Thank you very much. Appreciate you joining the show, joining the conversation. If Jalen Green shows up and can stay healthy, that's going to be key in Game 6. If he has begun to figure out ways for him to be effective and to counter the Warriors' defense, that will be a big help. If the Rockets stick with running the offense through Şengün, that will be a big help. But Fred VanVleet, 26 points, shot the ball well. Amen Thompson, 25 points, shot the ball well and made his free throws. Dillon Brooks, 24 points, shot the ball well and was not in foul trouble. Şengün almost had a triple-double. 9 rebounds, 9 assists. Was efficient, 6 for 9 from the floor. Heck, Jalen was the only starter who did not make 50% of his shots. 3 for 8. Fred, 8 for 13. Amin, 8 for 12. Dillon, 7 for 13. Alp, 6 for 9. Jalen, 3 for 8. But he was more aggressive and he didn't have turnovers. Which is a big, big key for the Rockets. So I'm looking forward to it. And it's sad we got to say this, but I mean it's legit. Jalen contributing positively is a big if. That's where he is right now, unfortunately. I mean, yeah, that is a big if. You guys, as Rocket fans, think positive. Think positive that he will have a positive impact on Game 6. If he does, then it could be a Game 6. Game 7, excuse me. It could be a game, No. Let me see here. Is it as simple as saying if Jalen and Fred scored 40 combined, the Rockets should win? Well, no. Because, they didn't combine for 40 tonight. What? Fred had 26, Jalen had 11. So that's not 40. But Amen Thompson is going to be a key. I mean, they won tonight without Jalen Green having a big night on the scoreboard offensively. So how many fouls did Dylan Brooks end up with? Dylan ended up with 3 fouls. I think one of those in the fourth quarter. So he did not get himself in foul trouble. That's important. Dylan Brooks keeps himself in the game, avoids just unnecessary fouls. He is one of the Rockets' most consistent, reliable outside shooters so far in this series. And with him still in the games and still playing and as a threat on offense, then you don't really miss Jalen Green not having a big night offensively because you still have Alpi. Fred shooting the ball well makes a big difference. Clearly, if Fred shoots the ball well, the Rockets have a great chance to win Game 6 and a great chance to win Game 7. Fred has stepped up. I mean, he owns it. He hadn't played well. He's played much better. So, Amir, let me ask you. Would you have said that if the Rockets would have lost Game 5? That you are proud of the Rockets? Just asking a question, not hating on you, just asking a question, just curious. Steph, I mean, what did Steph do? Let me see. Steph, Game 4, Steph scored 17 points. Game 5, Steph scored 13 points. The difference between Games 4 and Game 5, Jimmy Butler had 27, Brandon Podziemski had 26, Buddy Hield had 15. Tonight, Steph's 13 was the only double-figure points from the Warriors starting 5. If Steph, this is what it comes down to, I think, WK. Renard, I think you agree with this. If Steph doesn't get help, Warriors aren't going to win. Okay, Steph is a Hall of Famer, hell of a player. But he scored 30 plus twice in this series, 17, 13. The Warriors winning is based on his teammates. Steph passes the ball to them. They got to make their shots. Steph could score 40 in Game 6. If Pods and Buddy score 8, that's not going to be enough. But to a point, I disagree. But also, it also impacts how the Rockets respond to Steph getting his points. If Steph works for his shots, if Steph takes 25 shots to get his 30, 35 points, whatever, Rockets going to win. If Steph takes 12 shots and gets 30, that's a whole lot different. That's different. But so it's a team sport. As great as Steph is, and I say this about all the superstars in the league, you're not winning titles by yourself. Look who you are. Steph, LeBron, Jason Tatum, MJ, going back years, Kobe. They're not winning titles by themselves. Nobody averaged 100 points in a series. So Steph might get 35 in Game 6. And they can still lose if Buddy Hield and Pods and Jimmy don't get their combined 65. So that's what it comes down to. Now, would the Rockets get the same kind of performance from Amin Dillon in Game 6? We'll see. That's the beauty of the sport. That's the beauty of competition. That's why I look forward to. That's why I love series and not one and done like the NCAA tournament. You get hot for one game, all you got to do is win once, but you got to do it in a series 4 times, at least 4 times, really, because you get hot one time in a series and still lose that game. But it is just the beauty of the playoff basketball. And what Steph had, how many assists did he have tonight? Because his teammates made shots. He had 7 assists tonight, only 23 minutes. I think he had 9 assists in Game 5. And it's simple. Y'all all know it. You get an assist when your teammate makes the shot from the pass you gave them. If they miss the shot, you don't get anything. Podziemski, he was sick in Game 2. When he scored points, the Warriors have won. When he doesn't, they have lost. So it's going to come down to everyone else. Steph's going to get his. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest to ever play this game. He's going to get his. He's going to find a way. Foul line, moving out the basketball, hitting deep threes, whatever. He's going to find a way to get his. It's up to everybody else to help him along the way. Because clearly, there is a superstar, and we won't talk about him tonight, but we're going to talk about him probably soon, who has averaged 30 points, 9 and 9 for his last 10 playoff games. And his team is 1 and 9. And y'all know who I'm talking about. Giannis averaged 39 and 9 or something like that, close to it. His last 10 playoff games, and the Bucks are 1 and 9. Because his teammates did not do their part. So that's what it comes down to. What are the other guys going to do in Game 6? Quinn Post shot the ball well tonight, didn't shoot it well in Game 3, but Quinn only took 4 shots. So will he take more shots in Game 6? Will he be hot from 3? Will Paz be hot from 3? Will Gary Payton make his threes, or will the Rockets lose him on backdoor cuts like they did in Game 3? Talking about Game 6. The competition, the beauty of the playoffs, the competition. But and this for a lot of years, it's true. Role players play better at home than doing the road. Well, Rocket fans, y'all better hope that's not the case for Game 6. So, what should Ime be doing to better prepare the team to play a closeout game on the road? Play faster and keep Şengün as the facilitator at the high post, because it opens up everything. When Alpi has a ball at the high post and his teammates are moving and cutting off of those actions, this makes the game simpler. Because then, based on what his teammates do, then the Warriors have to decide how they're going to defend Şengün. Because if he's making his shots, he goes 1-on-1 and is knocking down his shot in the paint, advantage Rockets. If he's not, advantage Warriors. All right. Join me. That'll do it. Join me again this Friday for Game 6, the next edition of Let's Talk Houston Rockets. Salute to the Warriors fans who participated in the discussion. Join me Game 6. Join us Game 6. Thank you as always. Strange for you as a Warriors fan, but hey, you can buy a Houston Roundball review mug, if you want, you don't mind, or a cap and whatever. Support the Roundball review that way. Click on the bell so you are notified, receive notifications when new shows are posted. I'm telling you, Game 6, post-game show, get ready for it Friday night. It's always a thrill and my pleasure to chop it up with all of you talking hoops. And we're going to do it again on Friday. KG After Dark. Let's talk Houston Rockets After Dark. And wrapping it up, as I always do, since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review. Local name, global perspective. All of y'all, take care.
Game over.
Peace.